I'm with Casper Van Dien, the star of Guns of Redemption. I'm a huge Western fan. Casper, you work a lot, so I'm assuming you love acting and you're also a cinephile. Where does Westerns, as far as the movies that you like to watch, where does it take place in your like genre of films as far
So
as
I love
preference?
I love all movies, but Westerns are my number one favorite all time. My favorite director is John Ford. My favorite actor is John Wayne. But I love all Westerns. My favorite films is Searchers. I also love Silverado. I also love Tombstone. I also love Unforgiven. I also love True Grit, both True Grits, both uh, 310 to Yumas. I go through all these films. I love My Darling Clementine. I am a huge Western fan film. I love Shane. I go back, I watch a Western almost every day of my life.
So that's it. I have no idea. Maybe you can just why are Westerns so watchable for a second time? And I don't know if for any other genre. I can keep watching my favorite Westerns time and time again. Either 310 to Yumas I can watch hundreds of times. So what is it?
You know what? The storytelling is just so great, and it inspires you, and it brings this feeling. And it's just they were the backbone of our industry during the Great Depression. We almost went belly up, but the nickel and dime theaters were the only thing for 3 years that kept Hollywood afloat. Was the Western? That's it. The nickel and dime theaters kept Hollywood from going belly up during the Great Depression. That's because even in a time of depression, and not having enough money, people would save up enough just to have an escape, something that they could escape for, to go and see something. And that's what films do. And now it's many different genres, but even Star Wars and Starship Troopers, they're basically just Westerns in space. A lot of them are. That's just what you see when you do this. Westerns are just such great storytelling. And you have this, like the redemption quality that we have in Guns of Redemption. A lot of stories, that's what they are. Westerns are. And you're looking for that. And as human beings, as men, we're looking for that because when we're younger, we make stupid choices because we're so full of testosterone and we're so driven by that. And we make choices that we make like later we go, oh, why was I such an idiot? And we try to become better. We try to strive to become better men and human beings. I'm a sober man now, 30 years, so I definitely have can relate to this in the way of making lots of mistakes. So I'm always trying to make amends and try to grow from this. And so this character is looking for this, searching this, and he looks at it and finds it in a righteous man, Sean Astin, who is an incredible man nonetheless, but then playing this incredible character who then you see is good with a gun. So you're like, oh, so he has a history in the past too, but he's made it. So maybe there's a chance for me. So you start looking for this, and it was a great, really well written story. But Westerns in general, they have that appeal for us, and for me, I just think they're the best.
Yeah, look, I don't have to tell you this, but some of the best Westerns, you mentioned Ford and Wayne, but even some of the best Westerns are the ones that are in the 40s and 50s. They were low budget. They might have been directed by Samuel Fuller or Bud Boddicker. Did you feel a kindred spirit with someone like Skiba? Because he's taking the Western and also subverting it as well without giving too much away. I can see a lot of subversion in his stuff.
But Skiba did a great job with this one, and the writer did a great job with this, and Skiba did a lot of rewrites on it, and then the actors did this. But we have a lot of things that we went into in this. I love all westerns. I mean, I go back and I watch My Darling Clementine. Like I said, I love. I mean, I'm going back Shane. I love all these old westerns that. I love all the ones with Audie Murphy. I love all the ones with Glenn Ford. I mean, I'm like you're going back to these guys that are iconic and incredible. All these different characters. There's so many incredible westerns that tell different stories. And this one for me reminds me of these classic westerns. Making this movie, reading it, I went, oh my God, this is like a real western. Because I've made a couple westerns, but this one really hit on the level of like the westerns I kind of gravitate towards. This has got all the elements of it. It's got all the bells and whistles that I would want in a western that I would feel, that I would resonate towards watching over and over again. And it just feels like that. It feels like an old western to me in a way. So I loved making it, and I hope it turns out like it felt like. And I just love the redemption quality, and I think that's basis of a lot of westerns.
Look, I've seen a lot of Westerns like you, but not a lot of Westerns deal with sort of a man who's struggling or trying to find his faith too. And can you just talk about that element of Guns of Redemption? Whether you're a believer or not, I just thought that was a great layer to put on your character and the overall fabric of the narrative because I think it was really wonderful.
I have a strong faith and I have a strong belief in a higher power, and it's been what's saved me in a lot of things in my life. So for me, for this character to be on this path and to be lost, and then to feel like he's finding it and then have all hell break out and it thrown in his face in many different ways. He's trying to make amends for his life, and then he keeps making choices that and he's gonna earn this, and he has to keep earning it, and he keeps, whether he's making more mistakes or not, who knows? But there's this huge struggle that goes on, and that's what life is about. These films, a good Western to me has a lot of struggle. Even after you make the choices, then other things happen. I mean, my character gets shot a lot. And he keeps going through things. So you think, okay, he's making the right choice, but then something else happens, and like, and then he's struggling. He doesn't know if he wants to make another choice like that. But then he keeps going through things. So for me, there's huge payoff for what he's doing. Um, I, I I loved reading it, and then I loved being able to apply it, and I loved the faith aspect, and I loved for searching that because there's a lot of them. I mean, there's gun in the pulpit, and with Glenn Ford, and there's a lot of ones that have the preachers in it. There's where
Mm.
Clint Eastwood plays a preacher, and he's not really with his sisters, mules for Sister
Y-
Sarah.
Yeah, two
Yeah,
meals for Sister Sarah, I think. Is that
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like you're looking at these things. So there are ones that touch on it, but it's the first one I've seen with where they actually let me use the Bible as a real weapon, which was awesome for me to do too. But that was my idea, and I'm gonna have to live and die by that one too, whether that one works or not. But I felt like it would work. I'm like, hell, he's trying to be a man of God, trying to be that, and then he has no choice at that end, to stand his ground.
Look, I mean, we can mention Sean and Jeff Fahey working with these guys who are just great veterans, and we all
Yeah.
know how talented they are. But what's it like for you just to work with a lot of the young actresses in this movie and see them shine as well? It's a great mixture as far as the ensemble goes. And does that really, I don't know, does that does that encourage you to see all of this, like a new generation of actors just coming up and doing such great work?
They're lucky they had all those old timers with them, and then we're lucky because we have their energy and their youth, and then they're lucky because they get to see that we still have that energy and youth while being on a set. So it is a compliment, for everybody in that. And I think that when people are putting their heart and soul into it, it's always impressive. I mean, all the girls were great. The two lead actresses were wonderful, but then you also have all the other girls that were in there. They're all putting their heart in there in the back of that wagon. They're all like really bleeding it, and they're really looking like I would ride up, and even just their looks at me while I'm riding up, they were like you could see that they were in pain for what I was going through and a struggle. And I was like, I really could tell that they were really putting their all and effort into it, and that was quite impressive. So yes, I thought that they were awesome, and I was really grateful for them, and the whole cast and crew. I mean, the writer of this did a great job, and then Ski did an incredible job, and Jamie Thompson's a dear friend of mine. Also, he's producer did produce other things for me. So this is the first time that we all got to collab together, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Casper, a couple final questions. I want to ask you about some of your body of work. First off, I don't know if you've been asked about this movie a lot because I love directors. And back in the day, I haven't seen this movie yet, and I can't wait to check it out. Under Heavy Fire, directed by Sidney J. Furie. You're a cinephile. That guy has one of the most interesting film careers and prolific film careers. You were one of the actors who was able to work with him. What was that production like and working with him? By that time, did you know how sort of and by even back in 2000, he had a great career. What was that experience like? And you were shot in the Philippines, I think, for about a month, along with
Yeah,
Vietnam.
yeah.
So
We shot in the Philippines for 2 months, and then I shot for 12 days in Vietnam, just me. Um, but I loved working on Under Heavy Fire, which originally was called Going Back. And I loved it. I loved working with Sidney Furie, and he's funny. I mean, like, there was times where he had like 9 cameras going off. And I'd done several things with Sidney. I love Sidney Furie. He did Boys and Company C, Lady Sings the Blues. Boys and Company C was actually where Lee Ermey did his first, like Full Metal Jacket. He's known for being the drill sergeant in that, but he did that first in Boys in Company C. Did pretty much the same performance in that, and they weren't allowed to promote it because they were promoting, you know, they were promoting Full Metal Jacket. Not they didn't want him to talk about he wanted to be like, this is really your first time doing this. But he really played that same character in Boys and Company C. Exact same drill sergeant, some of the same lines even. So pretty amazing for me. But Sidney's a very was a very talented director, and he was a dear friend, and I loved working with him. I love working with Kenny Johnson, and also in that film we had James Woolbert, who was in Unforgiven, so that was awesome. He was in that movie with me, and then we also, there's a lot of talented people in that film.
You are such a diehard cinephile and you really remember the people you work with and you treasure them. So I'm assuming that's the reason my final question. That's one of the reasons why you decided to work several years ago on a really small film called Daughter, and you were fantastic in that.
Oh
What was
yeah.
that experience like? And is it just because like you're really, it was great that you were supporting something like that, which has had a really great story and just really great acting from everyone involved.
Oh,
So
thank you so much. There's times where I was the only one talking in that one, so I was like, oh my God. I loved that script, and I loved the film. I love what they did, and I love the director. Corey Deschamps was such an interesting character, and as a director, so intelligent, and he was like, and we shot it all on film, which I hadn't done in a long time too, which I thought was interesting with a mainly Vietnamese cast and mostly women, and so it was interesting for me to play that role and play that character, and to be in there with the talented actors that I was working with and the talented crew. They were so wonderful. I I just love that film. I wish more people could see it. It's such a disturbing film, and I'm such a disturbing character in that one. It was really I'd leave to go to set, and because I'd leave and I'd comb my hair that way, and I had that beard going, and my wife and my kids were all like, "Oh my God, you look so terrible," and I was like, "Awesome." And then I'd come back and I was still in it. And they're like, "Oh my God, would you please not? I'm just can't even look at you." I go, "This is perfect." So, and that was just me getting ready at home to go. So I felt like I was in that character in it. I wasn't mean to anybody at my house, and I wasn't doing what my character was doing in the film. But it's a really interesting character study, and that based off of a story and some real life events of what has happened to some people. So a really, really intelligent film, I thought. So I'm glad you liked it, and I'm glad you see it. I wish more people would see that film
I'm
as
going to
well.
keep on recommending Daughter. I love that movie. And final question, gotta ask, because you're such a film historian, I remember actually, we're around the same age. I remember interviewing Verhoeven for Showgirls and Starship Troopers. I remember at my early 30s loving Starship Troopers because I was a huge Verhoeven fan. Now, as I get older, Starship Troopers has much more layers for me. On your end, what's it like to have a movie that continues to grow year by year. And whether you're meeting people on the street or you're going to a convention and you see different generations come up to you and give you their story about Starship Troopers, no matter what age, that must mean a lot to you personally, as far as the continuation of cinema and how it moves on. I guess big picture
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, you're lucky as an actor if you even get one film that is resonates with people like Starship does. Some actors have quite a few, but they're the rare ones, and some actors never get it. And some actors have good films, but they don't have one that resonates as hearty as like Starship Troopers is. I can't go anywhere without somebody at least once yelling a quote at me from Starship Troopers. And for me, that's one of the greatest gifts. And people come up to me, there was a girl that was all dressed up in this really elaborate costume, and she just started crying. She was, "I just want you to know, I bonded with my father, and we bonded over Starship Troopers, and I'd always wanted to have a relationship with him. And I finally got to because we got to talk about that film. We got to do that, and then he died. And so I just wanted to tell you that I just and I'm like, like, but it was like such a I'm not even doing justice to what she was saying, to the level of what she was saying, to the nth degree of what it meant to her, because it's not my experience, but I did see how real it was for her because she was crying and but I have that from military people. I have it from all different people, but there's always a different way. And however it inspires people for whatever it is, that film has such a a strong pull to different ways, left, right, centrists, doesn't matter. It can be women, children, young, old now. People come and go, I love that movie right away. I didn't like it when it first came, but I love it now, or whatever it is. It's so interesting for me. Their connection to it. It made me join the military. It made me want to become an actor. I have all these different stories, so many. And then I just did two video games last year. I did Starship Troopers Extermination, a 16-person shooter. I did all the voiceover from all the quotes that I've said and all the quotes that other actors have said. I've said them all now, but I feel like I've said them all anyhow because people yell at them to me almost every day. And then I did another one for Starship Troopers Continuum, which is a VR game. So and these people, and I play online. I play those games online. I stream them with these, and they're like, I can't believe I'm playing it with a guy that was in Starship Troopers. I have the best time with it. It is a thrill and a half for me. It is the greatest thing in my life. People give me things all the time that go with it. They're so excited about it. It is just a thrill to be connected to that.
Well, we're
It's a
both
gift.
Gen. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, we're both Gen Xers, and you're making me jealous because you're playing video games and I'm not. So I need to follow your lead as far as the streaming and all that stuff getting in that gaming
Well, I'll tell you
race.
what, I was not. I
I'm
was doing,
jealous.
my daughter streams, and she was born during Starship Troopers, and she played Chrissy in Stranger Things, where she cheered for the Tigers, and then I played for the Tigers in Starship, which is funny. But every once in a while, I'd go stream with her because I got her into video games because I used to play a lot. And when Starship Troopers first came out, I said, "You guys need to make a video game." And they're like, "We make movies, not video games." And I'm like, So I was playing a lot of video games back then, but then I stopped. But then I saw this video game when I did the voiceover for it. I went, I'm going, and I have a whole computer setup, which is what I have now for gaming, and I stream it almost all the time. I stream as Casper Van Dien, but in the game, I'm General J. Rico, and everybody calls me the General, and it is the biggest thrill of my life. So I have so much fun doing it. I'm such a dork, and I do it all the time. I'm not good like these kids are, but I have so much fun, and it's just like being in the fucking movie. So I love it.
Hey, oh, thank you so much for your time. You do so many movies. How the heck do you have time to do this? I need to learn. Do you just not sleep? Because you're
I don't
one
sleep
for
very much. I sleep about 4 hours a night, so I do have that about, and I have that since I was 16. So that's probably that. But when I'm working on the show, I'm not streaming. I'm not doing anything like that. But when I'm not working, or when I'm just done, I go and I stream. And sometimes I just do like a coffee talk with them. I just talk and I talk to people. I connect. So I just started doing this. This is just new. I've only been doing this like probably 4 months now.
yeah,
Really, I mean, I probably started it 8 months ago, 6 months ago, but I'd only do it like once a month or something. And now I'm doing it like sometimes I'll do it like a whole week in a row every day.
right.
And then sometimes I haven't done it in like 4 days. But I'll probably stream after this today.
Right. Well, Casper, thanks again for your time. I love Guns of Redemption so much. Grace is also a great actress. Love her work
Thank you,
as
thank
well.
you,
And
thank you,
my only
Greg.
complaint regarding to you, Casper, is I need to see you in more westerns. Can we make that happen? Can you
Oh
make
my
that happen?
God. That's the next genre I want to direct. I want to direct a Western, and I'd be in it too, but that's what I love. It's my jam. So it's what I know most. So you and me both, brother. We love Westerns. That's
Okay,
awesome.
I'm gonna attack you on this while you're streaming and telling you I'm gonna tell you to get behind the camera and direct and stop playing video
I
games. You know that,
I
right?
gotta.
You know I'm gonna do that.
I'm not gonna stop playing video games. I love playing video games. I used to love them so much when I was younger, and then and my wife now doesn't mind that I play video games, so it's kind of cool. But I always loved them, and I think it's so much fun. They're just like movies.
Well, they said your character in Guns of Redemption is an angel. I think your wife is an angel for letting you play video games. That's all I'm gonna say.
She literally is. She is. She's my wife is the coolest.
All right.
So
All right. Take care, Casper.
take
Appreciate
care.
it. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.